You're watching Weirdo Universe, where wonders take flight for the show. I'm Amon,
I'm AJ.
and this is Weirdo Universe. And welcome to an early episode. I hope for people that might be watching later on or watching this throughout the weekend, as we're about to continue our breakdown, keeping the Halloween theme going, as Halloween is coming up soon. This coming up Friday, and so yeah, we're going to talk about two. We're going to try to crunch in two franchises. Scream, as people, most of the people know, if you're like serial killer. For my assume it's a serial killer movie, but AJ will
Well,
break
yeah.
it down more. And then Wednesday, the notorious series that the notorious series that was around that was it's pretty much a remake from the Adams Family movie long ago. So let's get right to it. AJ, I'll let you take away of the Scream franchise.
All right. Well, okay. As those who've watched it know that it definitely came from around the 80s. It's been around for give or take maybe what 40 years now going on, give or take. Um Also forgive me. I'm outside because we have a guest that's sleeping on the couch and I didn't want to wake him. So I'm currently freezing my ass off for y'all. Just putting that out there.
Actually, it's actually not the 80s. 96 was the first movie.
Oh, well, okay, then that would be about almost 30 years. No, 40. 90, early 2000s, 16. Yeah, 40. I was right the first time. Okay.
Now 2019.
Um, really?
Yeah, 96, right? 2025.
Huh. Yeah, okay.
Anyway,
My
continue.
math is off. Sorry.
It's all good.
um, well, so for obviously the first film that debuted in 96, thank you. Um, we get this interesting storyline of a high school setting with Sidney Prescott, Billy Loomis, Stu Macher, and I forgot the other girl's name, and Dewey and Gale. Um, but we get Scream, Scream 2, Scream 3, Scream 4, and then after so many years, we got a slight continuation and I guess in a way a reboot to just restart the franchise a bit. Now some of you might want to include the Scream television series. I'm going to tell you that is not canon to the film franchise, unfortunately. I'm not really a big Scream fan. I mean, I love to watch it, sure. I mean, I definitely love horror films, but I'm definitely not a huge like hardcore fan. But I did do some research about the other day, and the Scream TV series is not canon to the film franchise. It's completely separate. However, it is called Scream and has basically the same slasher serial killer type energy with somebody putting on the ghost face costume. But it is still its own separate universe. Um which still kind of surprised me, to be honest. Um Going into this a little deeper, though, we have 14 different Ghostface killers throughout the franchise. And it starts off with the main two, the real famous two that started it off. Billy Loomis and Stu Macher, who were the two first original Ghostface killers.
So I just for me, I'm curious too, and for people maybe are not into this sort of theme of movies. So explain more of that. Like, I guess the title, like the Scream and May about these Ghostface. Like, what's the whole?
Well, I think they kind of just called it Scream because, I mean, when people get stabbed, they just kind of,
Okay, I figured
like,
that. But...
I guess I don't really know the true meaning behind the title name exactly, but going into the genre itself, it's definitely horror, but I also feel like it might be included with a sense of like the survival horror genre and a little bit like slight mystery as well, because you're also trying to figure out who is behind the mask before they get to you. And a lot of times, in most cases, people tend to die during that cause. However, we are also getting a Scream 6, I believe, sometime next year, or at least in the next few years. Which has, I believe, Matthew Lillard actually coming back to reprise his role as Stu Macher in some way. And now, those of you who have watched the Scream film, the very first one, you know that both Billy and Stu die. Spoilers in case you haven't. Sorry. But everybody has been trying to figure out the past few years, since like 2023, after Scream 6. I can't speak English today, apparently. When Matthew Lillard had mentioned between 2022, or I think it was 2020, and 2023, regarding both Scream 5 and Scream 6, that he might make a reprise to his role as Stu Macher, with a comment being, "I'll be back," which in the Scream franchise, there's a whole rule about that, where if somebody says that, they die. It's one of like the 3 rules about surviving a horror film that they talk about in the very first film, near the like final act of the film. This character named Randy pauses a horror movie that they're watching to explain the rules of survival of a horror film, which are: don't drink alcohol, don't have sex, don't say "I'll be back." A lot of these are definitely, as what he called, the sin factor, which in a lot of cases, for most of these films, are definitely the core element is the sin factor. So that includes drinking, sex, the whole like 9 yards with that, doing drugs, all of it. I don't know where else to go with this. But that's basically how I picture the like core elements within the franchise, at least a little bit. Now, what makes me think that it's a survival mystery in some way is, well, for all of the films, technically, there's always the main characters, which are usually Sidney Prescott, Gale Weathers, Dwight Riley, or as a lot of people call him, Dewey. They are the main 3 who try to survive. And I say that they are the main three because the original groups that they are in and some of the original friends are already dead. So they are the main like survival protagonists in some way, right? But with Scream 5 and Scream 6, we get this whole new group with Samantha Carpenter, or as you also know her, Samantha Loomis, because she is also the daughter of Billy Loomis, the original Ghostface. Well, one of the original Ghostface, apologies. And her sister, Tara Carpenter. Then we have some of their friend group, which in Scream 5 is Amber Freeman, Richie Kirsch, both are which are the Ghostface killers for Scream 5. Mindy and Chad. I forget exactly what their last names are. I'm not really great with names exactly. Plus, I just recently watched the entire franchise a few days ago, so I'm a little iffy a bit. But and then Scream 6 is, well, we get supposedly 2 new Ghostface that technically die within like the first few minutes, and that is Jason Carver and Greg Drunker, I think. I didn't really get a chance to pronounce the name exactly all that well, so forgive me if I'm butchering it. But they were the Ghostface killers for the beginning of Scream 6 until Richie's family comes in to basically, well, they confirm saying that like it's, well, we had to kill you first, Sam. That's just kind of, we felt like it was right due to the fact that you killed Richie. But yeah, the mystery part is definitely really just focused on trying to figure out who the killer is before they get to you, like I mentioned a little bit before. And just basically try and survive before you get stabbed. Also, what's really interesting about the Scream franchise is that it's a movie inside of another movie, because they do have a movie within the universe called Stab. I personally think that's almost as cheesy as the original name for the franchise, but that's just me. It's simple, it's catchy, and it's just kind of classic to what the thing is.
Well,
But
AJ, sorry to stop you there, folks, but I have a surprise for you. Let's welcome Jack Jones.
Hey,
Of the pod. Thanks for joining us, Jack.
Yeah, of course. How's it going, everyone?
I'm good.
how have you? How are you?
Well. Just currently at home right now in Maryland.
All right.
Okay.
So as I was reaching out to you, we're talking about the Scream franchise, and knowing you've probably seen that like 1,000 times. So, like, give us your little like background of what do you think of what the story is,
For
or at least the
Scream?
franchise, like the franchise of it all. If you've seen it all.
Well, I mean, I've seen most of them, but I know like Scream is one of the most known like horror films, but it's also like a comedy at the same time.
Oh yeah,
It's definitely
They also do have that parody film.
Yeah,
about it. Yeah.
What are they called again? They're called.
I think it's.
Not
I want to say Scary Movie.
Yeah,
I could be wrong.
Yeah, there's like one of the scary movies where it was like all about Scream, and they made like the Ghostface look like he was like high in the film or something. It was hilarious.
Yeah, and they had a whole like phone like conversation thing of just them going like, "What's that?"
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Jack, like, I don't know. What's your like quick rundown of just what I guess what you have seen?
Well, I mean, I've seen there's this one lady that's in her like I think her name is I believe her name's Nev Campbell. She's been in like all pretty much all the Scream movies because she's like the original girl in it and the 1996 one.
Yeah, yeah.
And
She played Sydney Prescott.
yeah, and I mean she's like pretty much the starter of the whole thing, and like it turns out to be just, like, all this, and there's like phone call, be like scary movies, and all the murders start happening, and then people don't know who it is, and then like the very end, you kind of realize that it's like two people doing it in the end. Matthew Lillard and let's see what's the other guy like Skeet Ulrich, I think his name is, who like those two actors, and I mean it's kind of a like for how it starts at the beginning, it's kind of like a shocker in the end, but yeah.
All right. Like I don't know, like AJ, I don't know. Well, I guess AJ, can you maybe just sum up from what you've all been talking about, just to maybe tell
Yeah.
stuff that Jack maybe hasn't known about?
I do have a question for you, Jack. Did you know there's a TV series called Scream?
Oh, there is. I didn't know that.
Yeah. A lot of people don't really know much about it because a lot of the like more hardcore Scream fans have just hated it utterly. They even actually joke about this a little bit with I want to say Scream 5 and 6, the more like recent ones. I want to say that they did. I could be wrong, but they've definitely mentioned like the whole like franchise thing about like the different rules that come with it. Let's see. Well, so far we do have personally in Scream 6 to say that they have 9 whole killers so far, at least those that are known. Totally within the film franchise, they have 14. There's 2 that
there's a Scream.
Go on.
There's a Scream 7 movie coming out, correct? Or is it
Yeah,
8?
there should be a Scream 7.
Okay. Because I mean, I heard
Yeah.
about it. I heard like they were working on it. That like a bunch of actors like got out. That some of them got back in, and it was like all over the place.
Yeah, there was issues with scheduling for both Jenna Ortega and I don't remember who the actress is, but she plays the sister, Sam.
Yeah.
They both had very huge scheduling issues. Jenna Ortega is also known for Wednesday, which we will also be getting into. But I think her scheduling issues was with the Wednesday series, I believe. I could be completely wrong about that, but I definitely know that that was definitely one reason. I want to say, let's see, with Sydney, I gotta say she's been in all 5 so far. She didn't make an appearance in 6. I don't know why. I could have looked it up before, but I just didn't think of it in time. I was actually very curious, actually, and very interested on why she didn't show up. But I could kind of guess maybe that like she's already been in like all 5, like all the other previous 5, and maybe she just wanted to take a break or something. Because actors do have that momentum of just needing some space away from a huge project, you know. But let's see, with Scream itself, I kind of described it as this like horror, survival mystery horror in a sense, because I mean you're trying to survive from being killed, obviously, and the mystery is just, it's kind of basic, but I mean you're trying to figure out who the killer is before they get to you. Usually near the end of the film, though, they do kind of out themselves even though like some of them kind of make it a little too obvious at times. But it's definitely like a survival mystery slasher in my lean to the descriptive. But yeah, I mean that's kind of just my little summary about it a little bit.
Okay. I
Um,
guess I sometimes I'm just now thinking about it. If I just have my own idea, I wonder sometimes if a Scream. I know I get the whole like you're about to die, but I wonder with the killers, it's actually like an entity.
I actually did make a OC of that on Instagram. Okay, so I do a lot of role plays. Amon can confirm this. I have, yeah, I have a whole
I got
long
the
list of
receipts.
characters. I made this OC called Malephage, and so basically she is like this demonic entity for the Ghostface like mantle. It's just kind of like she kind of gets into your head, kind of makes you like get a little, I guess, turns you into a serial killer in a sense. Like she puts the mindset of a serial killer in your head, and it's just like, hey, maybe like I don't know, put this on, and then use a knife and go stab a bunch of people. Like she just kind of makes a whole game out of it in a sense. Um, Again, this is completely an original character. It's not anything really. It's not canon to the whole franchise, so I can't really say anything about the series. I haven't seen any of it, so I can't really tell you exactly what happens. But I'm assuming it's pretty similar to the films a little bit, just with a whole new cast, different universe, but like same genre and title in a sense.
So I guess for you two guys, what's the best one you could say? Or how about this? The who played the killer good? Who portrayed it better from the ones you've seen?
Ooh.
But I just
I've
go.
seen all 6 of them, so I gotta let Jack go first.
Well, just start with the movie. Just which one of what you've seen you think was the best? Was the best story?
Well, probably. I mean, for me, my personal favorite one is from the '90s because that's like the most well-known one, and I've been watching that one a lot recently. And they even had that in movie theaters because like Halloween's like what, like 6 days.
Yeah,
But
right around the corner.
yeah,
Um,
it's. I would honestly say that Billy Loomis was probably the best Ghostface.
Okay.
I gotta agree with Jack here. Just because I do have to say that the first Scream film, it has to be the best,
Okay.
and
Yeah,
Billy
'cause sometimes-
Loomis himself.
Yeah, and it's also the director of this film, Wes Craven. He's like a very well-known horror director, so he knows how to make good horror movies. Like for example, he
Yeah.
did the original Nightmare on Elm Street movies, so he knows a thing or two about making good horror movies. And
Oh yeah,
I heard for like when he made the Scream movie, it was kind of like a new era for horror films because usually you know like who the killer is and all this other stuff, but this time you don't know who it is behind the mask.
What also made it really interesting about the Scream franchise is that some of them, like I said before, they make it so obvious that this one person or 2 people could be the killer. But because they do so well with having their alibis in check, it makes you second guess everything. Like it really like makes you think exactly like really hard on who the killer might be until like the very end where they just kind of like out themselves. But yeah, no, I gotta agree with Jack though. I mean, the first one definitely it's very well known. It's the most famous one. And it's really just because I mean the duo between Billy and Stu is just top notch, in my opinion. So I mean, they really brought out this like dynamic between this like collective calm like mastermind of the sense with Stu being this like more energetic kind of unpredictable wild card, or at least that's kind of like how I kind of pictured them, Billy and Stu at least, but I don't know.
All right. Well, Jack, if you want to continue on being our guest, we're going to jump into our next topic that AJ referenced as we were breaking Scream down a bit, and that is the Wednesday series. Have you heard of it?
Yeah, I've heard a lot about it, and it's like a major TikTok trend. It's a very popular show on Netflix. But I'm gonna be straight up. I haven't watched like a minute of it.
Like any of it at
No.
all? Well,
I
glad
mean, I
you.
know about like the Adams Family and all that, and I know like Wednesday, but
Okay.
I just never watched it.
Okay. Well, glad you joined us because you might found a good duo to help you break this down. Just to sum it up as possible, because I just finished season 2, and AJ just finished it probably like last week or 2 weeks ago.
I finished it quite a few weeks ago, actually.
Okay.
I think after they like completely finished season 2, I think that's when I finished it. Was the
So
the final episode.
So, just to give you like at least a good rundown, it's pretty much like if you think of like Hogwarts in Harry Potter.
Yeah,
So it's think of that, but instead of people being trained as wizards, they all have like ab- abilities. You could say and people are like different from people that can turn invisible, can pretty much be a
In a sense, think of like basically monsters.
yeah
So like vampires, sirens, the whole 9 yards, basically.
all the Halloween creatures
Yeah,
thrown into a castle school like Hogwarts,
Hmm,
but it's not
okay.
Hogwarts. Um, that's not the place. But it's like a high. It's like a college, but it's with people being weirdos, as AJ mentioned. But yeah, so let's get right to it. So in case people don't know what Wednesday is, I don't know. She's the daughter of the Adams family. If you know about the Adams family, it used to be a series like long ago in black and white. They used to do for a while. I don't know the exact year or how long they did it, but so
I want to
today
say I think the first one was in like the 60s.
60s. Okay, we'll
I
say
think
that.
I could be wrong. I could be very wrong, but go on.
Um, so they decided to do a kind of like a remake of the Adams family, but to focus on one character, and that was the daughter of the family named Wednesday. And for her, though, as you know, Jenny Ortega, who was in the recent Scream franchise, she's playing the role of the daughter of the family. And for her, though, she's kind of like those people, like likes to dress all black, and like all these things that kids maybe don't really think of too much, but for her, she likes that. So when it comes to like Day of the Dead or like in the as we'll break it down in season 2, she got buried alive, and then she like woke up was like, I was amazing. Like it's just like all those the thoughts that all of us really don't think of, but for her though, it's like that. Like let's do it again. I was like and all that.
The Adams family and as a whole are very dark.
It's just
They just love the
as they
darkness
sum it,
with
they're the most
things.
unhappy family. They have they are a family, but the way they act amongst each other, at
Yeah,
least some of
I mean,
them,
like depression to them is pretty much happiness.
yeah.
Yeah.
But so AJ, do you want to should we just go like a quick sum of season 1 into season 2, or you want to go right to season 2?
Yeah, we could definitely recap some of season 1 a
Okay,
little bit. That'd be cool.
so. Cause what's interesting, what I don't know is Wednesday the older sister or the younger sister? Because she acts pretty mature compared to her brother, but she seems like in season 2 she shows actually how the
I
pale skin.
believe Wednesday's the oldest.
Yeah, it seems like
I think they also confirmed that within season 1.
okay. So it's like for her, it's like it's time to go to college, and so she gets dropped off from
Well,
her.
it
Oh,
was more she got kicked out of normal school
oh yeah.
too many times, and the only school that they were allowed to put her in was Nevermore.
Yeah. So
Um I mean, to be fair, can you blame them though? It's Wednesday. Like, what do you expect putting her into a normal school?
No school.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
It's been a while with season 1. But, so
Is
yeah,
there gonna be a season? Is there going to be a season 3?
Yeah, they're
I hope
actually in. I think the progress of making season 3.
Oh,
so.
okay.
I believe.
I mean,
yeah,
they had to, because that season 2, which will
season 2 ended off amazing.
that was very compelling. But to continue on, so from her trying to do normal schools like us three we do, but for her, due to her, I guess her ability or just the way she is, she gets thrown into her parents' old college, as AJ mentioned, which was, what was it?
Nevermore.
Nevermore. And
Which is, if I may say, very Harry Potter like.
Yeah, it's like Hogwarts, but instead of wizard, everyone trying to be a wizard, everyone's just being themselves, but has certain abilities or not a normal person. So as for her, she's like, I want to say an introvert, but that's probably not the right word. But for her, she doesn't really like too much company with, at least with, except for with, of course, her family. But it's like with other people, she's not like too into that, you know.
Yeah, she is a little on the edge of antisocial.
Yeah, antisocial. That's probably the better way of saying it. But better way of putting it. So she, she enters the school and it's like it's all like happiness. Everyone's just messing around. She like, I believe she just goes to dorm, but like her parents, since they were at that school long ago, and by Wednesday's age, and they're like amazed. It's like all the old stuff is still there, and like remembering all the stories, etc. But so Wednesday, of course, you need a roommate, and the first roommate is, what was it?
Enid Sinclair.
Enid Sinclair. And for her, she's like the opposite of Wednesday. You know, she's happy.
Oh, yeah.
She likes to socialize. She's like
energetic.
Kind of like a pop star in a way type person. But for her, she's a werewolf. So she has like for her, she's a werewolf. And so there's a bit of, so as it goes on, there's a little mystery to it. And actually, AJ, I'll let you take it away.
All right.
Just what was like the more like the story to like the mysteries of what
for season 1, correct?
Yeah, season
the
1.
recap for it. Okay. Yeah. So the mystery to season 1 was this, just a bunch of these incidents going around near Nevermore, and the small town, I forget the name of it, Jericho, I believe, right? Jericho Falls, I think, or something like that.
Something like that.
I have to look back into it later, and then maybe mention it in the next stream, possibly. But I want to say Jericho. I feel like that's right for some reason. But there was these incidents happening. People were getting either injured or killed. Some of the people who did get killed were surprisingly brought back to life due to a certain somebody. But it turned out that this mystery turned into more of a, I guess, in a joke to kind of reference an Adam Sandler film, a murder mystery, in a sense, just because why not? It involves a creature known as a Hyde. And if a lot of you don't know, a Hyde is basically a person who, the famous the famous story, what was it, Jekyll and Hyde? I think. Was that right?
Jack, do you know?
No, what? I'm sorry.
What was Jack?
What was the famous like urban legend or something called like Jacqueline Hyde, I believe.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
We'll
Are
figure
you
that
talking
out.
about Doctor
Yeah,
Jekyll and Mr. Hyde?
Yeah.
There's like a strange case about it, but an urban legend I'm not sure of.
Yeah, I meant to say the case, sorry. But it's basically a hide is kind of where somebody, I don't really know how to describe it. I also kind of want to just compare it to like a Wendigo in a sense, just without the cannibalism.
It's like yeah, it's hard to really describe what it is, but just how about this? Think of like your inner beast, but you can turn into that if you're like angry enough. Like I can't say like the Hulk.
Yeah.
Like, think like that. So it's like an inner creature that's like almost like it's connected to you, but it doesn't. It only comes out at certain moments, but you don't know it when you wake up. You don't remember until you realize what you did.
No, that's
And
interesting.
a hide is like it's like a hunch. It's like a I don't know. It's like Wendigo. It's the length of a Wendigo and like the claws of it,
Yeah.
but it's more bony structure. Like it's like, I want to say a troll for some reason. Like the first words come to my mind is like a troll, or like even like in Resident Evil 4 where you face the or 4 when you face the the big troll creature. I don't know if you play the game,
Yeah.
but it's like a troll, but it's lengthy, has claws.
Is it like lengthy, like a Slender Man type lengthy, or?
Pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. But it's
Just
like
with a slight hunchback.
it's like hunchback. Like you'll still see like the spine, the rib cage, like but
Yeah, it's
below
pretty
like,
horrifying.
it's
It's
horrifying. And
very distorted.
it's very it's like a distorted human, but it's like or abnormal human, I guess we could say. But continue.
Yeah, sorry. I was trying to think of a comparison that wasn't working at all.
Yeah, it's a
But
tough way to explain it. But I hope Jack,
yeah, it's
hopefully that gave you a good picture. You can search it up later.
yeah. If you ever also decide to watch the series, that'll probably give you a better image of what it looks like than what we probably described it as.
I feel like we did. I feel like we did all right.
Okay.
But
Yeah. All right, but so to end it off with season 1's mystery, basically, it turns out with the help of Wednesday's ability, which is
psychosis.
I want to say telepathy.
Yeah, maybe
I could be wrong. It's definitely
psychosis.
more, I guess, in a sense, clairvoyance, in a sense. So it's visions, basically. With the help of that, and after a prank gone wrong, I believe, at the school's, I guess you kind of say prom, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it was basically prom for them. I don't remember what the exact name for it was, but we'll say prom. It turned out that Wednesday had a confrontation with this character named Tyler, and they had a moment of romance that caused her visions to just hit her with just everything, and that made her see that Tyler was this Hyde. And
what's funny about that when she discovered who it was, she's like, "Of course, it's like the person I kiss is like, it's this weird, compelling creature that's killing."
yeah,
people.
yeah, it was a very odd, like, but funny, like commentary outside of like the show with Jenna Ortega, like speaking about it. They do kind of have that because they do kind of make it a little bit like those kind of old timey, the black and white like detective shows or movies, stuff like that, where they kind of like narrate themselves a little bit. It was like a moment like that basically she was narrating like, oh well, what are the odds of the first kiss that I have is to this monstrous creature who was terrorizing this town and the school. And yeah, um after a while they do kind of capture Tyler and they do send him to this
Well,
institute.
yeah.
I don't remember what it's called, but I'm just gonna say institute.
We'll tell you when we break down season 2.
Yeah. I think that's basically like a
That's just
decent summary of season 1, right?
yeah, we're just gonna give you the mystery, but if you really want to see a breakdown, you can search on YouTube. But if you want to see it yourself, you should watch it. So let's get right. Let's get right to season 2 that just finished, and man, I think the writers cooked. Like I can probably see why it took a while because they literally it's 7. They usually do 8 episodes, and it's about like between 30 and like 45 minutes. It's like almost a movie in a way. It's like
some of them were an hour or a little over an hour long.
Yeah, just to kind of give you the good like wrap it up and like compelling endings.
Or like I think it was that they were so in depth with the episode that they're just like, okay, let's just kind of finish this up. That way it's just out there and done. I could be wrong about that.
Like
I don't know how they're processing.
This season had like at least 4 to 5 mysteries all in one, but it was connected
oh my god,
to one like massive like mystery that was solved at the end.
It was like a book broken down into several smaller books and in segments, and it was just.
So the mystery of season 2 is in season 1 it was about this people dying from this creature. So they got they sent it away at Willow Hill Asylum, but
that's what it was called, right? Yeah,
Willow Hill like institution, but it's like it's like an asylum for people
basically,
but or think of Arkham Asylum in a way, just like that, but
yeah. I mean, that's the best comparison you could probably get.
That's what I think of. So anyway, the mystery is, so there's these like certain flock of like ravens or crows, not ravens.
No ravens.
Ravens. I always mix those two up, but they're practically the same.
They look very identical. I get them confused.
Ravens. They there's like this. There was this photographer like taking pictures of like, at least he's like a photographer.
I want to say a private investigator.
Private investigator, and as he was taking photos, there's these like ravens. Like there's this one specific raven that has like his eyes, like it's almost like it was resurrected in a way. Like it just has this bulgy eye, and it like summoned like all these ravens. Like he's like taking photos of doing a case he's trying to solve. But every time he looked back, like there was 1, then it was like 20, then it was like 40. And then as soon as the one in the middle with the bulgy eye, it was like saying like attack, like it was crowing and they like saying attack, and the flock just went on swarming him. He got in the truck, and then he realized what it is, because this is where the mystery builds up. It's he gives a call to a certain someone, which will reveal who it is, about saying like the evidence is at this thing called bullpen. As like a key word, and apparently the Ravens are a lot smarter. Who knows? And they've somehow got in the van, and he pretty much got eaten alive.
I'm trying to figure out how they managed to do that. By the way,
yeah, he got pecked alive, and he died. So, but then for Wednesday, it's like summer's over. It's time to go back to school. She's walking through. It's like everyone's there, and she goes goes back to the dorm in Enid. And so far their friendship's kind of grown a bit. Like they know each other at least enough to know like being like friends, not best friends, but at least friends. And for her, she has like this. She has like her little pack because she's a werewolf, and we didn't mention, but in the Adams family, there's this certain like zombie hand that I wonder how they did. It might be robotic, like someone's controlling like remote control of
I
like.
want to say somebody was wearing one of those like green bodysuits, just with the hand sticking out of it.
Probably just to like do this, maybe.
Yeah, I would love it if it was mechanical though. That would be a really interesting twist.
Well, anyway, this specific like figure is called Thing because it's just a hand. Just don't know what it is, but they just call it Thing. And Thing was kind of like being like the butler of the family, but also being like
besides Lynch
for Wednesday. Yeah. And in this season, the son, he's grown up enough to now join Wednesday to the school, so he's like a freshman. And so there's a story that they always have to share about the willow tree, not a willow tree, skull tree, and it's about like 30 years ago. Some scientist was doing an experiment, the machine blew up, and like as a compelling, funny story, he flew all the way to this tree and got buried. That's just the summing up funny story, but there's more to it. And there's so much that we can break down here, but we're going to try to crunch this up as we conclude this episode. So back to the mystery is about these strange crow just eliminating people, and so one moment in the show, she was in the forest and knows about like a case, and for her she likes mysteries and likes to solve cases. It's just a way to keep her keep herself occupied, you could say. But sorry, I'm just trying. I just saw it yesterday. There's so much to share, but we can't really get it.
Yeah, I mean, when you see season 1 and then you get into season 2, it's
like,
just
whoa.
It is so much to unpack. I mean, I even still kind of get just.
Well, like I'm trying to do a little time skip a little bit, but so the person that the reporter was calling was apparently the one who became the High, the one who became the
Tyler.
High, Tyler Stad, who was the sheriff in that time, but he pretty much lost his job.
Wasn't his name like John or John?
And for them, they didn't have the best relationship, but he still needed her help. So it took a while to think. She came to him. He died. He got his eyes pecked out. And for some way, I don't know how, but the rain just flew out of his mouth like a little jump scare type moment. And
yeah, that was kind of horrifying. I'm not gonna lie.
As the story goes, it's all connected to It's all connected to the asylum in a way. So there's a certain person. I'm doing a lot of time skip here because there's a lot to spill, but just trying to focus more on the mystery.
Yeah, no, just break down just as much as you can.
Yeah,
and I mean, I might even start watching it tonight.
So figuring out the mystery, it's all connected to Willow Hill, and she gets to actually see Tyler for the first time, and he's like all chained up, and he can like read like the chains. He's not like he can stand there and just stand there all day. He can like move, but it will just keep him occupied. And there's like a electricity like
collar.
Yeah, collar. Just to, it keeps at least it sustained the beast enough just to let him turn back. But those two had like, I don't know, when it comes to writing, when it came to Wednesday and Tyler, they kind of became like I feel like they've written them really well, just kind of give you more of the compelling relationship between the two. But anyway, as mystery goes on, they discover someone was solving this thing called Lois, and they think of like, no, it's not Lois Lane from DC. It's an actual.
I'm not even gonna lie. I thought they were looking for a person too until they got to the place.
It's actually an operation. So apparently, there's a story in long ago there was a scientist, and it was a scientist that did kind of like notorious experiments that kind of got him kicked out, and so his daughter.
Well, I wouldn't say necessarily kicked out, just more of put into the asylum that he was working at.
Got put in the asylum that he was working at. So he took the advantage. Well, he took the advantage, but soon, yeah, he took the advantage. So he had a daughter, and the daughter, trying to just being I guess being helpful and all. She became the first normie to have like abilities. Like his dad made this machine that could kind of like give you abilities, pretty much. And so for her, he got the ability of being control the ravens, but a variant, I think it was the word.
I want to
So
say that was called an Aether?
something like that. But
Something, yeah,
so time
similar to
skip,
that.
so doing a massive time skip here, doing another like time skip that really gets very interesting, Jack. So Thing was like trying to figure out who is he. Like, he's just a robotic hand, but sometimes certain parts have a mind of its own and wants to. Since it's been around the world, I guess it just like he didn't know who he was. Like, who was he? And it figures out that during that story of the tree was actually Wednesday's parents' friend named Isaac, and Isaac was trying to help his sister that was actually becoming a hide. He was trying to find a way to at least eliminate it, or at least find a way to eliminate the hide. Because about hides, what was interesting that the more it connects to you, it kind of like almost consumes you internally. Like it's like I don't know if you will die, you turn to a hide, and you become that forever. I don't know, but it's like a disease, but the longer it stays, it starts to kill you, pretty much,
No,
or something.
it was if a hide I think actually not loses, but kills their master, that's when it starts having effects.
No, but this was interesting. Male hides, that the females are like kind of like the queen of the like being like a lion pack. Like
Yeah,
she,
they're stronger.
yeah, they're stronger, but they don't need a master. It seems like it's just their own thing. But for the males, for some reason, they need like a master to at least so it doesn't be all rabid, I guess. But going back to the thing, so Thing was actually was part of a hand of a Da Vinci science they kind of call named Isaac, who was a friend of Wednesday's parents. And the real story was when Isaac was trying to help his sister to disrupt the hide.
The first time.
The dad dad was just trying to help, but he's kind of like he doesn't like understand like the situation. He's just trying to be a helpful friend, so he wasn't like not as smart, but at least being helpful, and not realizing that he was about to be a sacrifice to drain. Since he had electricity, his ability was electricity, and
in maintenance terms, he was basically the battery for the machine.
Yeah, he was the battery for the machine because he had electricity within him. And so, as the
which is
experiment
one way to go.
Yeah, as the one experiment was about to happen,
Morticia,
who's Wednesday's mother, she actually cut off the hand that was once to be Thing with the ring, cuts it off the hand, and then the machine exploded and he died. But for the hand, it somehow got reanimated due to there was a lot of power and electricity, so it reanimated it, and then it became they just call it Thing. They just call it Thing just to give it a name or something, because to at least not tell what the real story was. So they buried Isaac into the tree and buried him forever. But as you watch more of the story, the son decided to want to know if the story was true. But since he had his father's powers, he actually reanimated him. And what's very creepy is, I guess his ability is that he might have been always a zombie or something, because he needs to Well, he doesn't eat brains. He actually needs to like almost like slurp it in order to grow, and then for some reason, the more he does it, it gets his compelling textures back. So I don't know.
See, Isaac, the interesting thing about Isaac was that he also had a mechanical heart that he put into himself, and that's what like got jump started and reanimated him from Pugsley was the mechanical heart. And so he became like kind of, I guess in a way, a cyborg zombie.
Yes, it's weird. Like
in, in
that's
a
where
weird
like
sense.
like even this it was great, but there's some little mystery because like Thing ended up he kind of became to himself and killed the one person that was actually a part of him and all that. But even though he even gave him the middle finger, he's like, "What the?" and just get beat up.
Yeah, that was funny.
I know, like
liked that.
I just feel like when you're acting, you pretend you have like aliens. Was it like alien syndrome, where it's like your body acts as itself? I don't know. There's like a certain syndrome or disease.
I think I know what you're talking about. I don't even remember what the term is called.
I think it's like alien something, but Jack, you might know more. But so yeah, it's like, or you know, if you're acting, you pretend you're hitting yourself and just like pretend you're knocked out, and you pretend you're wrenching, like you're pretending you're taking your own heart out. So it's like sort of a way of acting it. But anyway, there's more to it. Like another quick thing that apparently Wednesday's friend becomes like an alpha werewolf, and apparently for that, it's kind of like it needs to be hunted in order to be supreme. Like whoever can kill the alpha can be the alpha. I don't know, something like that. But anyway,
Very odd werewolf rules, if you ask me, to be honest.
anyway, that will do it for today. Thanks for tuning in, Jack. Thanks for being our first guest.
No problem. I'll be happy to show more.
Yeah, for sure. We'll let you know. So our times are, we're just doing Saturdays around 11 a.m., which is 2 your time. So we'll let you know if you're interested, depending on the subject. So thanks for tuning in. Enjoy the weekend. We'll see you next week.